welcome to another session of Crafty Chat, pre-recorded. Just a chance in the week to relax and unwind with a craft or some music before you get back to your busy schedule. For those who don't know me, I'm Charlene Wilkins. I work at the library circulation desk. So today we are still working on the pansy, probably forever. You're free to work on whatever project you like, or you can just sit and chat in the comments below. So, shall we get started? Okay. Alright. I don't know if you can see it from here, just barely, but I have tried to eliminate some of the work for myself by adding more markers to the fabric. I found some of my other ones, so now I have a very faint pink that matches. You probably can't tell from here. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, it doesn't exactly match, but it's supposed to match the T symbol around here. And I've just used the darker one for the darker areas. That's super close. Okay. Good enough. So that's where I'm going to be working. Yeah, okay. Alright, so I've already finished it off, and I'm working on the second level, which is the threes. So, what is everyone else working on today, if you're working on anything? Feel free to respond in the comments if you like. I have to apologize, I was not able to keep up the last session in the comment section. Things got a little busy. The plan is to be there this time, and if not, the comment section is always open, so I can come back in later and touch base with people. You can also come back in later and touch base if you like. The comment section, to my knowledge, stays open indefinitely. And I'm always willing to hear the projects people are working on and how their week's been going. Whether they found the sessions to be helpful for their productivity or just a nice peaceful break. Wondering if I next time should try, instead of light overhead, maybe I should try light underneath the pattern. See how that comes out. this whole thing is admittedly still a work in progress for me. I'm sort of self-taught with the recording and the streaming in the same way I am with the cross stitching. How is everyone's Tuesday going as well? I know it's only day 2 of the week. Day 2 of the work week, at least, and school week. But hopefully it's not going too bad. Mine is my day. Because today is obviously not Tuesday when I'm recording this. But currently my day as of recording is not too bad. I've actually had 2 cups of coffee. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, because I'm pretty sure the come down is gonna be bad. I don't usually drink coffee much. I've started recently, on rare occasions, just 1 cup. No double shots of espresso or anything like that. The day I decided, hey, I need energy, let me just do 2 cups. Because that's the kind of bad decisions I like to make. So we'll see how it goes. I might start flagging in the middle of the video. Who knows? I do really like how the design is really coming together now. Like in the beginning, it was hard to really tell what it was. And as I add the fabric, well, not fabric, as I add the thread and mark out the pattern with the markers and everything, it starts to look more like the actual image I'm working from. It's very nice. I like that feeling of completion. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, okay. I can do it with this thread. I have that much left. So we're gonna try, you know? Actually, I think the music might be too loud. Let me... Some songs just come in louder than the other songs. I don't know why. It's just bit. Okay. Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be close. I always do that. I always look at the thread and go, yeah, that'll work. And then I start realizing that I seriously miscalculated. And then it's always a like suspenseful stitching. It's like, will I make it or will I have to redo it? I think I should be okay, but not always. Okay. It's also silly of me to let it run down to the end so far because that means I have less to work with, which means I have to pull more to get the thread through, which inevitably means that I'm pulling the stitches too tight, which makes them uneven across the entire pattern. And I will notice, and I will be annoyed. But I clearly haven't learned my lesson because I'm still doing it. It worked. With very little to spare. Alright. All the way to the end. Go ahead and clip these off just a little bit because they are distracting. Yeah, so the plan for the rest of this stream is to just finish all of this. Was 550? Yeah, all of this 550 here. And if there's still time to continue all of this here, I don't see that happening, but just in case. It's best to always be prepared, right? Did I prepare by taking the thread out? Oh, no, it's not 550, it's 552. Right. Yes. And my sad little threader, it's still going strong. I knew the wires were gonna snap off the moment I got it. I could just tell because they're not on there very well. And they did. And I reattached them. I think it was the correct way. I don't know. And then just throw some tape over it. It still works. Why get a new one? Definitely glad I have it. If it was irreparable, I would have to drop everything and go out and get something else. Or find something else, make something else. Because threading is the hardest thing. So that eye is so it's so small. My camera can't even focus on it. It's oh man. Yep. I can actually fit my fingernail through it, but just barely. That's how small this needle is. And I actually, when I first started cross stitching, I didn't have a threader. And I actually don't remember where I got this one from. It was part of a kit. Don't remember which kit. Oh well. But yeah, I was doing it by hand. The whole idea where you, instead of trying to take the open end and thread it through the eye, you take, I saw it somewhere. It was supposed to be easier than the other way. You take thread and you fold it, well, you loop it, and it's supposed to make it a little easier to thread. But as you can see, especially if you sit down and try to do it yourself, it is very difficult and tedious and frustrating sometimes. And I was doing it like that for a while. It's like I just did it, but you can see how long it took me to do it that way. And I was doing that for every new line of thread. Not doing that again. How much do I have? Okay, so 2 weeks have passed by now, I believe, since the last session. So, how are things coming along for you so far? We are, at this point actually, we are at the end of August. And I believe classes have actually started because we've started a little earlier this semester. So how are classes going for you so far in that case? Are you enjoying them? Or just already ready for them to be over? I actually have a class that starts... Well, that started. Hasn't really gotten off the ground too far yet by this point. It looks like there's going to be quite a bit of reading. Let's just flip this back over. Work from the front now that I think I've taken care of the other end well enough. This is 5. I'm still counting the stitches, despite the fact that I actually drew out the pattern on the fabric to prevent me from needing to go back or make any mistakes. Ah, okay. So this one is actually 6. And that right there is why I marked the fabric, because I was about to do 1 stitch too few. I don't know how you can just barely notice the difference between the light pink that I've decided is going to represent the 552 thread and the purple, which is going to represent, I believe it's the 550. Because as I learned from the last 2 sessions, going over all of the different shades of purple with 1 purple marker is the worst idea. So I'm still counting. The difference is just whether I'm going to accidentally use the wrong purple for another purple versus just accidentally using a completely different color than I was supposed to. What is this? I wasn't paying attention and oh, okay, that's fine. I'll just clip it off now anyway. I thought the thread was shorter than that. It was a very dramatic pull. I think actually I'm just going to finish this row from the back end of the pattern. I just managed to pull the thread entirely out of the needle. I do not know how I did that, but that is not the first time I've done that. Okay, next one matches. Same amount of stitches. Okay, I am going to apologize in advance. In the off chance there is the sound of an aggressive motor in the background. So apparently it's grass cutting day. And it sounds very, very close. It is entirely possible it's not picking up on the mic because I do have some background sound cancellation on this mic. But just in case, it is very loud. I guess they had to do it sometime since it was pretty stormy yesterday and the day before. This weather is just the worst. Especially since in the summer when it storms, the rain is not even a relief because you know it's just gonna be even hotter the following day. So personally, clearly summer is not my favorite season. But what is your favorite season? If you have one. I think mine would be I don't know, honestly. I prefer it when it's colder outside, but I don't necessarily like being cold. like snow, but I don't necessarily want to be out in the snow anymore. I don't think fall is cool enough. Let me adjust my light just a little bit. I think one of them might be dying a little bit. It's clearly not made for what I'm using it for. But I have so many portable lights that I've collected over the years for no reason at all. It felt like I needed to put them to some kind of use. So I feel less like I have some sort of strange obsession with collecting lights. I do want to get some more fairy lights though, and I'm always trying to resist that urge because in terms of utility, they're not very useful. They're purely decoration. But I like putting them in glass jars, just like the pictures on Pinterest. But I don't turn them on. That's the silly part. I have I have a glass jar of I think it's two sets of fairy lights. And I put it up on a shelf and I just never turn it on. It looks great. I just always forget to turn it on. It's the problem with LED lights. Okay, so I think okay, right, it comes in. It's fewer stitches. Okay. Alright, it looks like there is one more stitch. and then I can go back. Flip it over for this one. So far, I've been using patterns that were pre-made by other people from free patterns from a website. I think one day I'd like to try and make my own pattern. Because I know you can draw one out, or you can just draw it out directly on the fabric, which is a bad idea for me. But I also know there's programs that allow you to draw a pattern in different colors with the different symbols representing the fabric colors and save it and keep it. The problem, of course, is, again, I can't draw. And on the rare occasion I can visualize a pattern or an idea that I want to make, I can't always make the pattern that I see, the image that I see. Like there's a disconnect between what I visualize and how to actually make it, which is why I can't draw. Yes, the problem is I can see the big picture, but when it comes to the smaller parts that make the picture, that's where I struggle, is making those parts and putting them together and how to put them together to make the bigger picture. And I know you can also, a lot of the programs also allow you to upload an image and it'll convert it for you into a pattern, but most of the images that I find that I want to upload turn into gigantic patterns that'll take like 50 different types of thread and far too long to do, and that's overly ambitious. There's no way. I don't want to put myself up to that. Oh, I need to scroll the pattern up a bit. Okay, so it's just one. All right. Well, does anyone else have that issue where you want to draw or paint or design something, but whoops, you want to design something, but you just can't get it to cooperate? Or even, what ambitious project would you like to do that you just haven't tried to do because it requires, it will require a lot of time and energy and resources? 4, 4, and 4. Okay. I actually have another pattern that I purchased somewhere between just after I'd done basic patterns and figured, alright, I can handle stuff. I'm pretty good at this now. Just the worst thing you could do right after you come off of doing like one or two beginner patterns. It's a pattern I got, and it's much larger than I thought it would be. And it's also one of the ones that comes with the pattern, like the pre-inked on the fabric. Not a fan, because the color shows through, at least for the one that I got, the color shows through. So even after you've stitched the pattern over top of the fabric, you can still see some of the color. Because I think they chose the wrong colors. And I tried to check it like so many times to make sure that I wasn't wrong in thinking that you stitch the pattern onto the side of the fabric that the color is. No, I think they just chose the wrong colors. So one day I will eventually go back to it and take out the multiple rows that I did before I realized this is not going to work. Take all those out, flip it over, and then do it on the side that doesn't have any pattern on it, so that it makes more sense. Like, I think, yeah, one part of the pattern calls for, the picture is a cabin in a forest with snow. I started at the bottom, which is just snow. It's supposed to be a really light color, like almost white. It's like a light, like glacier blue or whatever. But the color they chose to put the pattern on the fabric is orange. So it shows straight through the fabric, and I couldn't make it, like, couldn't cover it up enough. So I kept trying to do it. I kept trying to go at it, and I was like, maybe I won't notice it. Maybe I won't care. And got pretty far, a few rows, I think, and then decided, you know what? This isn't working. I'm gonna know and I can see it and it's going to bug me. So, and it's a very large picture. I want to say it's twice as big as this whole piece of fabric, but I would be wrong. I think it's like, I don't know, it's more than twice the size. And I did quite a lot. So I have to get the resolve to one day go back and take out all that progress and just use the I'll probably end up remaking the pattern with my own markers on the back side, or just using the image from the packaging as a diagram and working on the back. Because I think if I work on the back, it won't, the color won't be, it won't come through as noticeable. But that's pretty far away because in the meantime, there's still this and a very large succulent pattern that I'm halfway through before I went halfway through before I realized that it was a very large project and there's like at least 3 shades of each color. So it's very costly in terms of time and resources. Then I guess if I just draw the pattern on the fabric, I probably could speed it up a bit. But I started it before I got the idea or before I was told about drawing the pattern on the fabric. Probably would save myself some time. And some incorrect stitches. So are there any projects that you can think back on that where you had that issue where you tried to forge off on it yourself, you thought you were prepared and it turns out it was expert level and you weren't? Or even just cases where you worked on a project and struggled with it only to find out or figure out halfway through that actually if you had done this other thing differently, it would have been less hassle. I guess it's not wasted time. It's even if you learn it in the middle after wasted after having to redo it so many times or struggle, it really just means that you'll be better at it next time and you can take the lesson with you because there's no wasted time when you're working on something. It's just more what is it? It's just more earned experience. knowledge that you'll use for the next one to get better. I'm definitely going to use my new knowledge about designing the pattern on the fabric first to make everything quicker and easier to follow, so I don't end up having to redo stitches or getting halfway in and realizing that I miscounted and I'm over too far. Because I've definitely done that with the succulent pattern. There is so much wrong in the succulent pattern, but I've just decided I'm going to just gonna gloss over it and pretend that's exactly how it was supposed to be. I think in time I won't even be able to tell unless I have the patterns side by side. If I have the pattern and the finished project side by side, and I'm looking for flaws, trying not to. It's weird. Like, as it stands right now, it's just really square and blocky looking right here, which is throwing me off. Because in my brain I'm thinking, it's a flower, it's more rounded. Flowers aren't square. And it's not, but what I have so far is. And it's confusing me. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who's worked on a craft and accidentally deviated from the intended product to the point where you just kind of had to get creative and alter the pattern to the point where it's still the same project but just a little off. So I ended up having to do that with another project I did where I wanted to get creative and use different colors to what the pattern required, and that would have been fine, except I didn't realize that metallic floss is the worst, because that's what I decided to use, and it was such a mistake. Metallic floss is the worst. It's hard to work with, and I thought, oh, it's so pretty, it's shiny, it'll stand out more, and it does, but it's also just a pain to work with. It's just the texture and everything, and the strands come apart faster than, I guess, regular thread. It's weird. I struggled with it. Like, I think the pattern called for 2 strands of floss. I'm using thread and floss interchangeably. But with the metallic, I think I ended up having to use 3 in the end because I was just struggling with the 2. It didn't look right. It looked like really thin and sad. And the wire kept bending strangely because it felt more like wire than thread. And then it was just a mess. It was a mess trying to keep everything together. And I finished that part of the project, but I was like, I'm glad I only decided to do that one portion with the metallic. Let me move this up a bit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the floss was awful. It was awful. And it made the project take longer than it needed to. Longer than it would have, because I had to keep straightening out the floss and taking parts out and putting them back in. And then that was even after I finally decided that what I needed was to use 3 strands instead of 2, because it wasn't coming out the way, it wasn't matching the rest of the pattern. That one's done. And then a hoop, which I also don't actually care much for. But I think it's mostly because I just haven't figured out. Okay, 4. Mostly haven't figured out how to finish off a pattern in a hoop to make sure it fits and looks decent. Alright, well, yeah, sorry, apparently now they're leaf blowing. Apologies for the needlessly loud noises. But I think we're coming up on the end anyway, so maybe I can just talk louder and pretend it doesn't exist. I think I'm going to finish off this row, and just because I can, I'm going to pull out the metallic floss and show it. I don't want to run over, because this is supposed to only be an hour. Then again, it is a video, so it's not like viewers can't just pause and come back to it whenever they want. Which I guess is an advantage over a stream. You don't have to be here when it releases. You're free to come back whenever you like. Alright, so we've gotten to there. And this is the nightmare floss. It looks harmless and innocent and pretty. It is not. I mean, it's still kind of pretty, but it's so terrible to work with. I don't even know if you can see this on camera. It's those sad little individual wires. Each one is a thread. Like, that is a thread. So it's so thin. I mean, I guess it's good for back threads, backstitching or maybe letters, but barely. It's bad. It's bad. It came in the kit as like a special bonus. It was a trick. It's a trick. And okay, that is all there's time for. I think I've gone over a little bit. Okay. The next session or next video will actually be released on September 8th, which is, I believe that is a Wednesday. Yes, it's a Wednesday, September 8th, at noon as always. And then on the 31st, yes, on the 31st, there will be a Facebook post where I will probably post an update of how far I've gotten, and possibly, I'm not sure. But, I'll probably post a status update about a chance for other people to post how far they've gotten or any projects they've worked on. This is the end of the month thing. Until then, I hope you keep working on your projects, or you just keep studying for class, because that's the thing. And I will see you on the next session.